In our last episode, we found this old cap and did a test fit on the Jeep. But before we get any farther, we're going to need to put some heat in this old Jeep. Well, I need to put a heater in this Jeep, and so these are the options that I've got. I've got this full unit that I pulled out of a Nissan pickup truck. It was like early 70s out of the junkyard. It's got a lot of crunchy stuff floating around in there, but I'm hoping it's a good unit. So I want to see if I can possibly retrofit that into the Jeep. If not, I do have a good heater core. It came out of an 87 Chevy Caprice. So maybe I can build a box and use pieces from this. So this might be another option that I have. Because right now, the heater that's in it, considering that you've got to plug it in the wall, is not going to work. So let's get started on fitting this in. So first thing, I think I got to pull the old CB out of there so I have a little bit more space to work with. And then just start playing around. So I just kind of mocked it up in there, and with some adjustments I could probably get it to go a little bit more to the left and up a little bit higher, so I think I can make that look pretty good and work fairly well. By the way, I was shaking it out. I said there was some stuff rattling around in it. Sticks, broken glass, a little bit of everything in there. So my next step, I think I'm going to pull that out, open that box up, clean everything out, and then do a pressure test on that core to make sure it's still good, and check the fan, make sure it'll run. Let's see if this will work. Yep, blowing some dirt out of there yet. It runs pretty good. All right, quick walkthrough here. My resistor was bad when I was doing some testing here, so I wound up repairing it. It just had come apart. So I'm hooking up my ground. This is an old Willys switch. Put it on low. I got a loose wire here. There we go. And then there's high. Low and off. Okay, I guess I'm going to have to pull that last hose off of there, but that's pretty ugly looking. Got some rust down in here, but we'll have to pressure test that and see if it's going to be any good. There we go. You see I drew a few lines on this case. What I wanted to do was to take a little bit of this excess off. It was originally just to help to pull in air from off of the cowl when it was in the Datsun, which we won't need that here in the Jeep, and in fact it's just getting in the way and hitting the glove box. So here's where we're at to start. We got this unit mounted up in here. I got it bolted up to the firewall. Used a few washers just to step it out just a little bit. As you saw earlier, I cut that piece off of there that wasn't needed. Got the core set back in here so I can just see what I need to do. There is an elbow that I have, so I'm going to use that, run this up, use these holes that are existing up here. But fits in there pretty good. I'm going to end up unbolting my radiator just so I can shift it a little bit because the petcock is going to drain out right on top of the bell crank. I have shifted the bell crank as far as I can, but the mounting plate it's going to end up hitting. I need to drain that out because I need to get enough coolant out of here so I can take care of this heater hose bypass, and I want to replace these fittings. I don't think I need shut-off valves in here. Picked these brass fittings up down at Lowe's. They were pretty inexpensive. If I recall, they were about $3 or $4 each. And worked out pretty well. I also got 6 foot of 5/8 inch heater hose from AutoZone. I went ahead and added the coolant into the heater core because I wanted to make sure there was no air pockets that are in here. And I got the lower now attached. got a little bit of spillage out of there, but like I say, I pushed all the air out of it, so I'm real happy with that. So we're going to finish filling this radiator now. These are the defroster ducts that came with this heater, and there's one on each side. Now they're a little short to be able to reach where the defroster duct is on the Jeep, but to make up the difference, I just went down the Lowe's and I bought a little bit of this hose. I think this was listed as pull pump hose, but it fits right inside of that. So I think this here will make up the difference between the unit and the windshield. Now there probably should be some sort of a funnel type piece at the top of this with a valve so I can open and close it, but there's just not enough room for me to work on that. Eventually I'll be pulling the dash back out of this when I do all the paint work, so I may end up making up something at that point. We got all of our wiring up off the floor, got everything all closed up the way it should be. I also have the switch in place, so I'm pretty happy with that. So I think what we're going to end up doing here is let's take some temperature readings as things are, and then we'll let this vehicle warm up for a while and then see what kind of result we have. So now we're just sitting here idling. Let me take the choke off. Let's go ahead and just take a temperature reading. Looks like 39 degrees. Let's take one off the floor. 40 degrees. One off the dash. 41. Let's just take one up above here then as well. 42. So we're basically running from anywhere from 39 to 42. We'll let things warm up a little bit here and we'll come back and then see what we got. We've been running for a few minutes, so we're going to go ahead and turn the heat on here. That's our medium or low setting. We're going to go ahead and go to the high. And just out of curiosity, we're just going to see if we're getting anything there. You can see what we got right now. That's the temp of what's coming out. Let's let that run on a high for a little while, and then we'll come back to it again. After a few minutes, let's see where we're at now. I'm going to take one reading first off the floor. We're going to take another reading from the floorboard on the passenger side. One on the dash. And one up here. I think we made a pretty good difference. Feels a lot better in here. It's pretty nice and toasty. We have heat that comes out down here on the bottom sides, across the front. This vent, if I do that, it's actually blowing air before it gets to the heater core. So I think that's more of a summertime mode there. But there's a flap door on the bottom. You probably can't see it. But if I flip that up, that's going to force more air into the defroster ducts. So at least I do have some general control of that as opposed to bringing it up here. In fact, I can barely feel some air there. I'm just curious if I close that door. Yeah, it's much stronger up here now. So that's one way I can work the defrosters for at least at this point. Be curious how hot those hoses are. So we're going to check that out then as well. So those hoses are pretty hot. I may end up putting some sort of a wrap or something on those in the future. So let's take a look under the hood, make sure we have no leaks. Just out of curiosity, we're going to take a temperature reading off the hose out here. not sure what that little wet was there, but I don't think that was coolant. Might be just some condensation coming out of here. Not seeing any issues. No leaks anywhere. I'm not seeing any leaks anywhere. I'm pretty happy with that. That's going to do for this video. Hopefully you found something useful out of it. If you don't have heat in your Jeep, this gives you an option. If you can find a 72 to 78 Datsun pickup truck, you know that heater will fit inside of these small CJ5s. Next video, we're going to finish up installing the cap. And now that we've got working heat, we can go for a little winter's drive out in the cold and hopefully stay a little bit warmer. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.